Hello folks, welcome to another adventure here in South Dakota. The Wild West in American lore is a fabled area of the country where anything can happen. It's known for the reputation of being lawless. You know, those gunslinging cowboys armed against the vicious outlaws in those duels in the middle of the towns at high noon. A lot of robberies at the train station, you know what I'm talking about. It's the Wild West that is the epitome of American storytelling, where law wasn't always guaranteed. Now, Hollywood is definitely to thank for the reputation the Wild West has received over the last century or so. All those old West movies of Hollywood's golden era has launched many different cities and small little towns into the spotlight of being these epicenters of Wild West culture and history and all that good stuff. None is more a prime example than here in Deadwood, South Dakota. Not every town in the Wild West was this Wild West-esque town. A lot of them had a little bit of order to them, but not here in Deadwood. Not at all.
Deadwood! To Deadwood!
Nobody move, nobody get hurt. And that goes for you too, Law Dog. And you. Wipe that stupid look off your stupid face.
Hey.
Oh, jeez. Let's have a nice I'm taking this scumbag to jail.
David, I can't believe he beat Marshall and shot you instead.
Oh, I just need to take another quick nap.
Sell some tickets for the world-famous and kid-friendly trial of Jack McCall. Seating is limited and they are going fast, so get them while you can. Thanks again for coming and have a great day.
Now, as you could probably tell from everything going on, from the influx of constant tour buses and other businesses like all around this street, this historic main street, and then the reenaction we just saw, the character of Deadwood, South Dakota is much different today than it was at its origins. You see, when gold was reported to be found here in these Black Hills, the northern part of the Black Hills here in South Dakota, George Custer informed everybody that this might be a good place to settle due to its resources. Obviously, when the miners and the people working in the mining industry weren't mining, they wanted things to do just to relax, have a good life outside of their grueling jobs as miners. So as a result, casinos set up shop everywhere here to satisfy the needs of the miners to let loose, gamble a little. In addition, some other things were set up for, well, other things that miners did when they were bored of gambling. Keep in mind, all of this was illegal. The US government did not authorize Deadwood to promote such things and operate such businesses. It became a lawless town, and a town with such operations only results in a lot of shady things going on behind the scenes. Wild Bill Hickok was a man who moved out here to South Dakota, Deadwood, and was known for a lot of the activity he did being, well, vigilantism. He became famous for taking matters into his own hands. Through that, he earned the nickname Wild Bill. Now the thing was, Bill Hickok was known in Deadwood here at the time of his death. He went into that saloon trying to find a seat that would have his back up against the wall. A seat like this. But alas, he was unable to find one. And as a result, he was prone to being shot from the back. What a shame. He never got to finish that round of poker. So that story of Wild Bill Hickok has cemented itself as one of the prime Wild West tales. Seems very storied and fabled, but it really happened here in Deadwood. So this is the moral of the story. If you're ever playing poker and you find yourself with a pair of black aces and black eights, look around yourself. Look for your surroundings. Make sure nobody's pointing a gun at you, because then you might fall victim to the dead man's hand. Eventually, as the age of the Wild West waned and this town got rid of the lawlessness, the people of Deadwood, South Dakota did want some law and order, and so a town was created with its own law system, a lot more stable justice system than the rudimentary one that was there before. And in 1989, over a century after the first gambling centers and casinos were set up in this town, gambling was finally legalized here in Deadwood. And today it stands as only the third location in which gambling is actually legal in the US, after the state of Nevada and Atlantic City, New Jersey. Yeah, believe it or not, all those casinos you see around the country, they're made from loopholes in the law. Either riverboat cruises or on Indian reservations. All over this little town you're gonna find buildings, inside of which flashing lights of all these gaming machines, slot machines. I'm sure there's poker tables everywhere. This is the place to go for gambling. Not that I favor gambling, I think it's not a great thing to do, but this is the place to go. I will say though, although the days of the perceived chaos of Deadwood are long over, there's another type of chaos, and it's the chaos of tourism. I felt like the youngest adult there. It felt like a retirement community. Not that I have anything against old people, but man, there were a lot of old people walking around. Seems like they really like the state of South Dakota, from Mount Rushmore to Crazy Horse to now Deadwood. This is a state of retiree vacationers. Well, breaking news everyone. Tragically, Bill Hickok has been shot by that coward, Jack McCall. Yes, it's a breaking news story that shocks everyone in Deadwood. That famed hero, vigilante, gunman has been shot. He was just playing poker, for goodness sake, and he had to just get shot and die like that. Well, he was buried in Deadwood's first cemetery, but then 2 years later he was moved, his grave, to Mount Moriah Cemetery, where he lays rest to this day. Yeah, even a place that should be kept very calm, quiet, peaceful, you know, the respect that a cemetery should get. Nope, not here in Deadwood. Tour buses and the like frequently flock up here, carrying buses full of tourists. It was very difficult to get a solemn, quiet shot just of Bill Hickok's grave. I mean, it's no different here in the cemetery from in the downtown historic part. That's just Deadwood. The upside though, at least we get that confirmation that this was a historically significant place when even the cemetery is hailed as a tourist attraction. Anyway, let's see if we can get to someplace a little more quiet and peaceful. I thought this was going to be the quiet and peaceful thing. Just one more thought before we leave to our final area here in Deadwood. If I died, I would want to be buried somewhere where I'm getting lots of rest. You know, I'm dead. I wouldn't want to have tourists come in every day, stomping on my grave, taking pictures of my epitaph. No, I'd want some nice, solemn sleep forever. So if you die, I wouldn't really recommend Mount Moriah Cemetery as your final resting place. And even more, peace and quiet. A little bit away from the actual town center of Deadwood, South Dakota, you will find beautiful natural displays here in the Black Hills. We've been through the Black Hills, but here in the Black Hills National Forest is where you're gonna find western South Dakota's natural beauty with the forests and the mountains surrounding us. Most untouched, most pristine, most kept to its own ways. It's right here that President Theodore Roosevelt, number 26, 1901 to 1909, as we saw on Mount Rushmore, roamed here as an avid frontiersman. And he dearly loved this area, this forest, so much. When the U.S. Forest Service came in, protected this land for years to come, for future generations, this mountain itself that we're climbing on top of was aptly named Mount Roosevelt in honor of him. Wow, nothing but pristine beauty for miles and miles right here in the Black Hills. Now, Teddy Roosevelt loved all the outdoors, all the different areas and territories at the time. The forests, the mountains, the Great Plains. The Black Hills were just one place Teddy Roosevelt loved dearly to visit. It's also here at the General Summit where you can find this stone tower, the Mount Roosevelt Friendship Tower. We at long last end our day here at the top of the Mount Roosevelt Friendship Tower. This tower, in all of its glory, was erected in honor of Theodore Roosevelt by his lifelong friend he met here in the frontier, Seth Bullock. They were lifelong friends, bonded by their shared love for the outdoors. And so when Teddy Roosevelt unfortunately passed away, this tower was built to commemorate and honor Teddy Roosevelt's legacy as president and as the conservationist he was. If it wasn't for him, the Forest Service would not be what it is today. And so here we are, ending our day in the beautiful Black Hills nearby, Deadwood, South Dakota. Although on paper, Deadwood, South Dakota may just seem like an old western town, it has been embedded in American lore as the prime example for a lawless Wild West town. I mean, look no further than the HBO series Deadwood, modeled after this city's history. So with that, I end the day here. Hope you all enjoy Deadwood, South Dakota. As much as it's one thing to read a book or watch a nice film about the Wild West, it's a completely different thing to experience it yourself with your own eyes. And that's why I do these things. That's why I record these videos, so that you all can get a taste of that as well, even if it's, you know, on video. So with that, on a windy, early evening here in Deadwood, I say goodbye to you all. From the Black Hills of South Dakota, leaving South Dakota sadly, it was a great time. On to newer states, newer pastures, newer regions, newer locations, more travels to come. I will see you at the next location.